The hum of the engine was the only thing keeping me sane. 3 days into my solo flight across the Pacific, the world had shrunk to the blue of the sky and the deeper blue of the ocean. My tiny single-propeller plane, the Albatross, was my whole universe. Then the universe decided to play a cruel joke. The engine sputtered, coughed, and died. Silence. A terrifying, absolute silence that the vastness of the ocean amplified 1,000 times. Panic is a cold, sharp thing. It tried to grip my heart, but my training kicked in. Checklists, procedures. I went through everything. My hands moving with a desperate, practiced calm. Nothing. The Albatross was now just a very expensive glider, and my runway was the endless, unforgiving Pacific. The impact was brutal. A jolt, a crack of splintering metal and plexiglass, and then the cold, suffocating embrace of the ocean. I surfaced, gasping, my lungs burning. The Albatross was a mangled wreck, already sinking. I managed to grab the emergency raft and a survival kit before she went under. As I watched her disappear into the dark depths, a profound loneliness washed over me. I was a speck, a forgotten thought in the middle of nowhere. The first few days were a blur of sun, salt, and fear. I rationed my water and biscuits, my world reduced to the inflatable yellow walls of my raft. The sun beat down relentlessly, and the nights were filled with a chilling darkness, the stars my only companions. I'd talk to them, tell them stories, just to hear a voice. Then, on the 5th day, things got weird. I was half asleep, dehydrated and hallucinating, I thought, when I saw it. A shimmer on the horizon. Not a ship, not an island, but something else. It looked like a city, but made of light. Towers of shimmering, ethereal energy pulsed against the deep blue sky. I rubbed my eyes, convinced I'd finally lost it, but it was still there. And it was getting closer. Or maybe I was getting closer to it. The current, which had been aimlessly drifting, now seemed to have a purpose, pulling my raft directly toward the phantom city. As I drew nearer, I could see it wasn't just light. It was structured, intricate, like a metropolis woven from captured starlight and liquid crystal. There were bridges that arched into nothingness, and spires that pierced the clouds, and there was no sound. No hum of machinery, no voices, just a profound, resonant silence. My raft bumped gently against a pier that seemed to be made of solidified water. It was cool and firm to the touch. Hesitantly, I climbed out. The air felt different here. Clean, crisp, and filled with a strange energy that made the hairs on my arms stand up. I walked into the silent city. The streets were paved with something that looked like polished mother of pearl, and the buildings. I have no words to describe them. They seemed to shift and change, their geometry impossible, flowing like fabric in a slow-motion breeze. I saw figures in the distance. They were tall and slender, glowing with a soft, internal light. They didn't walk. They glided. They had no discernible faces, yet I felt no fear. There was a sense of peace, of ancient wisdom emanating from them. One of them turned towards me. It didn't speak with a voice, but I heard it in my mind, clear as a bell. "You are lost," the thought echoed, "but you are not at your end." They led me to a central plaza where a great fountain of light cascaded upwards into the sky. They offered me something that looked like a dewdrop resting on a leaf. I was so thirsty I didn't hesitate. I drank it. The moment it touched my lips, an incredible warmth spread through my body. My hunger, my thirst, my exhaustion, it all vanished. I felt renewed, whole. I don't know how long in that city. Time had no meaning there. Days and nights were just different shades of an eternal twilight. The light beings showed me things, not with words, but with shared thoughts and images. I saw the birth of stars, the intricate dance of galaxies. I felt the interconnectedness of everything, the cosmic web that binds us all. It was beautiful and overwhelming. They explained, in their silent way, that they were guardians, tenders of the ocean's life force, and their city was a nexus point, a place where dimensions overlap. They told me my journey was not over. One day, they led me back to the shimmering pier. A small, sleek vessel was waiting, looking like it was carved from a single piece of obsidian. It had no sails, no engine. "It will take you where you need to go," the thought came. I got in, and as I looked back, the city of light began to fade, like a dream at sunrise, until there was only the open ocean again. The vessel moved on its own, gliding swiftly and silently over the waves. A day later, I saw it. A real ship. A container ship on the horizon. I fired the single flare from my survival kit. It arced into the sky, a desperate red streak. The ship saw it. It changed course. As the rescue boat approached, I looked back at the obsidian vessel I was in. As the first rescuer reached out his hand to me, I turned to see it one last time, but it was gone. Vanished without a trace. When they pulled me aboard, they asked me how I survived for almost 3 weeks with so few supplies. They checked my survival kit. The water was nearly full, the biscuits barely touched. I was perfectly healthy, not even sunburned. I tried to tell them about the city, about the beings of light. They just nodded, smiled, and put it down to trauma and dehydration, a hallucination. A beautiful, life-saving hallucination. Maybe they're right. Maybe my mind created a fantasy to keep me alive. But sometimes, late at night, when I look out at the ocean, I can almost see it, a faint shimmer on the horizon. And I know deep in my soul that I wasn't just saved. I was shown something incredible. And I'll carry the silence of that city and the warmth of that light with me for the rest of my days. Thanks for watching my story. If you've ever had an experience you just can't explain, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of the strange and unexplained. See you next time.